We are live, I believe. I think we should be live now. Hello, good evening, family and friends, and welcome to another edition of Let's Talk About It. I think it's not public yet. I'm going to make it public, and then I'll. Okay, hello, family and friends. Good evening, and welcome to Let's Talk About It, another edition. I'm your host, Rev Eric Armagodwin, and tonight I'm joined here by Pastor Freddie, Apostle Boyedi, Apostle Eric Boyedi. So another Eric. We've got two Erics in the house tonight, and then I've got Reverend Reginald Asante from Lighthouse Chapel, right? And then we've got Mr. Joseph in the house, Reinhard Joseph, amen. And did I just say amen? I'm not in church preaching tonight, so God help me. But this is we're discussing Christian parenthood, so it's a common ground, right? It's just us. So allow me. But welcome to another session of Let's Talk About It. We see that our brother Reginald is struggling with network issues, so do pardon us. He might be dipping in and out. Just stay with the conversation. So tonight we are discussing, as you all know, Christian parenting or Christian parenthood. The last month we heard from the mothers, and it was such an interesting discussion. If you're watching us, can we allow 1 minute for me to tag all the hosts in? Just allow me 1 second to tag all my hosts in on Facebook, just so that they're not missing out. No, it's not letting me do that. Okay, there you go. Give me a second. Let me do this quickly. And then who else? We've got Reinhard, excellent. I've got 3 people. Who am I missing? Pastor Freddie. Excellent. Yep. So I believe I've tagged you all in, so you should be on your pages in a second. But there you go. Yeah, so I've tagged everyone in. We're talking about Christian parenthood, like from the father's, or Christian parenting from the father's perspective. And Reinhard. Am I echoing? Or am I sounding all right? Okay. I just heard myself.
Yeah, you're echoing.
Still.
But it's okay.
Yeah. Okay, if it happens, please do let me know so that I can change the microphone. But yeah, the first question I want to ask, first question that I've got here, some people think the common word on the street is that fathers are really strict. I like the smile that you gave back. Fathers are strict or too strict. Is it a general thing? Is it true? What's it like in your home? Where do I start from? I'll start with somebody smile so that I'll pick on you. I'll start with Reinhard. Straight.
I'm happy to go with that one.
Yeah.
On that one.
Is it normal that fathers are strict?
Not in my household.
Whoa.
Not in my house. No, basically, I don't think it's true. For me personally, it's definitely not. My wife and I are just completely different by nature, by character. She's more the strict one. She's the stern one.
Okay.
It's a little bit like good cop, bad cop. I'm the one that kind of gravitate towards. I'm the one that's, is a bit more laid back. But I thank God for her, because without her foundation and her strictness, there'll be a lot of chaos. Okay. So,
I mean, before we go on to moving on to somebody, can I ask you the same person that Reinhard, how do you define strict? What is strict to you? Because it has to be relative, shouldn't it?
So basically, strict to me is around discipline, nurturing, giving them some guidance.
Okay.
And nipping things in the bud when there's potential arguments or altercation, and just setting some boundaries.
Right.
And just being really observant around what good and bad looks like. So,
okay, so you've just brought every question I'm going to ask. You've kind of picked a word from all my questions already, but we'll come back to what you said, Pastor Freddie. Generally it is believed that fathers are strict, especially African fathers, right? Afro-Caribbean fathers, especially, are strict. What's the case in your home? I think I should be asking the children this question instead, but it's okay to ask. Yeah.
It's a hard question because if like my brother say, it's depend of the house. But if we take it in the African perspective, is more male figures have power in the house. Not mother, but a male figure. But it's different from each family. Before I say regarding to my own household, I'm going to talk about my mom and my dad. It was different. I was growing up with my mom and my dad, but my dad wasn't really present in the sense of it was more someone who been going away to look for money. Traveling a lot. He was traveling a lot. He can travel like a year or 2 years, and then he came back. But I grew up more with my mom. I can say in that respect, because he was traveling a lot. Because he was traveling a lot, I was always with my mom. But every time he was coming home, and it was just someone you have to be scared of. You have to be scared of. And most of my friends we grow up with in my area, most of the dads of my area, they had a nickname. Most of them.
They did what?
The nickname. The nickname all the fathers in our street. For example, my father has been called Rambo. You see, and the other father being called Belge, or because he's French, Belge, because in the different name, different explanation. That man, we've been calling him Belge because of the way he was colonizing his children. And my country was colonized by Belgium. And that was like a colonial, really, he had a colonial spirit, really.
Colonial way of.
And it was just like, bang, bang, this is my way or no way.
So you think, so you're just agreeing that generally men are, you would agree that men are usually strict, fathers are usually strict?
No, I'm going to your first question.
Okay.
The one you've been talking about, African men.
Yes.
That's where I am for the first first stage, and that's why I'm talking about African one, because in Africa, having a male in the house, that's showing power. It's a power. It's just power. It's not about him providing for the family, giving money for the family. It's not that. Just a male figure in the house is just power. And we grow up in that mentality, knowing if you have a male, like if in the house, if the firstborn is a male, all of you have just to be scared of that male figure in the house. Because he's the big brother. And in my case, I grew up with my mom most of the time. because my dad was traveling a lot.
Yeah.
And from that that way of bringing me up, it changed my way of seeing things.
Yeah.
Even though my kids, they are scared of me, and not in a bad way, but in the good way.
Of course.
In the way they respect me, they know this is that.
Yeah.
They respect, they know this is that. Saying scared is the wrong word to apply, really.
Yeah.
They respect me.
Right.
And they know this we can't do, this we can do. And they know the boundaries.
They know when you're around, they know they can't mess about.
Yes.
They can't do
they know
things.
what to do. And we play, we joke, we do everything, but they know the boundaries. They know this time is dad's time. This time is our time.
Good. That's a good foundation. Reginald, we're trying to explore the question of generally it is known that fathers are strict. Okay. What's the case in your home? Is it the mother who's the one known as the strict person, or is it you? And what was your upbringing like?
Well, I'll say, literally, I'll say, as Pastor Fred rightly said, based on the way we were raised, do you understand? We were raised in the African setting, easy. And then, of course, we are now living in Europe, do you understand? And Europe also sees, parenting or raising up kids in a slightly different way, compared to the way Africa we were raised up. Do you understand? We were raised up, as rightly said by Pastor Fred, where the man is seen as the male figure, the organizing the home, the one putting food on the table, the one, bringing in money, and whatever rises or falls, depends on the man. Do you understand? So it looks like that is how it has been, right? From biblical point of view, you can see that that is how somehow, from when we read the life of Abraham, for example, you can see that Abraham's setting also has been like that. When you read Genesis 18, Bible says that I know Abraham, for he will command his household after me. Do you understand? So it looks like the way the African setting we were brought up, the father.
Oh, his network. Yeah, pardon us. His network is, fluctuating. But we'll pass that question on to Apostle Boyedi whilst we wait for our brother to come back. Apostle, do you want to take it from where he left off? What would you say about fathers are strict? Is that the case in your home? Do you do it differently, like our brother Reinhard said earlier on, that it's different in his home? Maybe he's Obroni, and that is the reason. Maybe he's Obroni and Pastor Freddie Obroni is just a Ghanaian way of saying Muzungu, right? I don't know whether that means anything to you. Yeah. So maybe that's the reason. Does that change stuff in your home, given your children were born here in not in Africa? What's your take on that? Fathers being strict.
Thank you. That is a general perception of fathers in this part of the world. Right. But that word strict, if you take it back home, it doesn't mean strict. It just means that a person, they respect their parents or their fathers. So here in our home, I think Pastor Reginald is back.
Yeah. No, you finish it. We'll come back.
Here in my home, even though I am perceived to be a strict person, but I am not really a strict person. You get it?
Yes.
Because I am.
Yeah, my internet is just.
I'm more or less an introvert.
Yeah.
Whereas my wife is an extrovert.
Right. So is that your definition of? is that so? That's good. I like what you just said, because I'm thinking in my mind, is that how you see it, or is that how it is in the house? Because how do you think your children will describe? How will you describe strictness? Okay, let me.
Strictness means you set boundaries that are not to be bent.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
You go over it, you are either punished,
right,
or corrected immediately.
Okay. But you chose to say that you're in your home. This is not people. I mean, we're putting our kind of we're supposed to be examples. We're all ministers in so we if people use the examples, don't take it the wrong way and use it. Friends and family watching on Facebook, because every situation is different. Every home is different. Every family is different. I've got, by the grace of God, I've got 3 children under my umbrella, and they're all different. And so I have to deal with them differently. So if you're watching us on Facebook, don't take anyone, whatever anyone says, and take it away and start practicing it, because the case may be different. And I don't want to, we want to be mature about this. We're just having a conversation and looking at different scenarios and different styles of doing things, so that we can go back and then rethink, because we learn from each other, right? Bible says that iron sharpens iron. So I'm listening to all these men of God here, and looking at the way I do things and thinking, right, okay, I might need to pick. Well, I'm definitely going to pick a few things from everyone anyway. So if you're watching this on Facebook, I just want to reiterate that the whole point of this Let's Talk About It is just so that we can pick from each other, right? Should I go to Pastor Apostle? Can I let you finish? Can I finish with you before coming back to my brother Reginald? That you call your missus side, your wife's side, extrovert, right? It feels, or somebody might listen and say, are you trying to replace strictness with, do you think she's stricter than you?
No, not in that sense.
Okay.
Not in that sense.
Yeah, because I'm trying to cover the question of like strictness, okay? Because some parents are strict, depending on the child, how the child sees it. Do you think yours is? Do you set rules? Because you mentioned setting of rules, and strictness is when people can break rules, etc. Right? Does that mean that you allow them to get away with so much more than your wife may do?
Yes, I do.
Okay, right. Yes, so then I'll put the strictness tag on your wife then, and let you lose. I'll come back to this question.
No worries.
I'll come back to this question. I see my brother Reinhard is.
Yeah, I just wanted to just come around on something that Pastor Freddie talked about. Yeah. That there's 2 types of. We need to think about the word strictness, because we've got the fear.
What I'm trying to explore.
The fear factor, and we've got the authentic factor.
That's right.
Then we've got the extrovert, which is just personality styles.
That's
the
right.
introvert. Yeah. So I think that it's all really about how you communicate. If you communicate really well, you don't need to be strict.
Right.
So it's all about that piece of communication that you have within the household, So that's why I said to you earlier, even though my wife is an extrovert, I'm also an extrovert. But because she's such a great communicator,
that's right,
she may come across as being stricter. But in actual fact, I'm not as good communicator as her, so I don't land some of the stuff.
I'll come to the question of the difference between strictness and discipline. Is there any difference? So we'll come to that.
Okay.
Reginald, just tell us, how is it in your home? Are you the let me use the word stricter person, or is it your wife? And will your children say that you're oh God, this isn't working, is it? Right. I think I have to move on to somebody else. Back to you, Reinhard. how will you differentiate between strict and discipline?
Okay, being strict is
strictness and discipline. Yeah,
being strict is a label for you as a person, and discipline is an act. So if someone does something wrong, they'll get that act of discipline. They'll pay the consequences for what they've done. But being strict is about the character of someone. That's the way I would describe the difference between strictness and discipline. And also you could say, yeah, discipline is an action, or it's a consequence of what's right and what's wrong within the household that you've set as a leader in the house. So that's how I would describe the difference.
Bro Reginald, are you here? Rev Reginald. Okay, Pastor Freddie, how will you differentiate between discipline and strictness?
My brother explained it quite well, really.
Yeah.
And is, you know, as I say, myself, I grew up with someone who wasn't strict. It was like my brother said, she knew how to communicate with me. Until today, because our communication is so good, even back home, people confuse me and my wife, who is the son or the daughter of my mom. Because the way my mom communicates with my wife, everyone back home, they've been thinking my wife, she's my mom's daughter, and I am my mom's in-law.
Right.
Okay.
Because of the way she was communicating with me, and it brought a respect in me toward her. And every time I try to do something wrong, I'll think 2 or 3 times before I do it, because I know I will disappoint my mom. Before, when I was small, 2 times she beat me up. But after that, she never beat me. She was just sitting down and talk to me.
Yeah.
She was sitting down, talk to me. And the same character my wife has.
Yeah.
I am the one who broke every conversation, every communication. And my wife, she's like a hammer to break all ceilings between us in the family. She's like, if 2 of my children or myself, I have something like, I want really my children to understand, or I want them to do something and they're not doing it, I'm going to be like quiet. I'm not going to say anything anymore. And she will come with the hammer. And that's why I say my brother explained it so well, that I again something more today again through his definition. You see, she will come with the hammer and break everything. And to fix everything, to break it and make all of us speak. Even me, she's going to make me speak. And that what brought is strictness in the way of, we know all of us that in the house, no matter what happened, my wife, let me say, mom is very strict, because she's going to make all of us sit down and speak about that thing. Right. There is no elephant in the room, in the house. Yeah. Anything, if there is an elephant in the room, she's going to come with the hammer and break the ceiling. And and my kids, they are more scared of her than me. Because she doesn't beat them, but she knows how to talk straight.
100%.
Yeah.
That's what I can say.
Right. I'll let Apostle, add his voice to his definition of difference between strictness and then discipline, and then I'll move on. Apostle.
Okay, thank you. Like my brother Renard and Pastor Freddie just said,
yeah,
when you lay down rules and laws,
yeah,
or regulations in the house,
yeah,
that is when you're talking about being strict, because they define the boundaries of their action, the boundaries of their behavior. And when they go beyond them, the action you will take is what is known as you were being strict.
Yes, that's
yeah.
So but if you lay down the rules and regulations and they disobey them and you don't say anything about them, they don't see you as a strict person. So without the rules and regulations, there's no strictness in the house.
so it's their definition of,
it's their definition of that my dad or my mom is strict or not.
Right, that's good. Right, that's good. But how do you, Reinhard, I'll come back to you. Do you discipline at all? Because you're, so from what you said, it looks like you're the like softer. Can I put it in that way?
Yeah. You know what? The key thing to it is I probably do the most discipline, but I'm
Okay.
the less stricter one because
Yeah.
I'm not in control. Hear me out. So basically, the fact that my wife is in control, she doesn't need to be adversely too stern or harsh with them because they know the boundaries well.
They do.
Because sometimes I don't assert my authority and I give a little bit of room for maneuver, I have to sometimes raise my voice and shout. So I come across probably more stricter than her, if that kind of makes sense, because
yeah,
it's all about being in control and setting the boundaries and knowing what and what not to do. Because I'm a little, so sometimes I am. If anyone is shouting, it's me. And when if you come to the house, you think, oh, he may seem the strict one,
Right?
but it's not. It's
Right.
the other way.
Right. Wow, that's interesting. So you probably raise your voice, more than your
100%. 100%.
But you believe that she's the stricter one.
100%.
How does that work? Does that make sense to you, Apostle Boedi?
Yes, it really makes sense, because just for the fact that you allow them to play around, they are kids.
Yeah.
If you give them one yard, they will definitely go beyond it.
Yeah.
That is where they find themselves in the corner.
Yeah.
So you tell them, okay, because you've done this, therefore you are now going to face this or that.
Yeah.
Okay. So for instance, if I allow my son, my third child to go out and play, I'll give him time.
Yeah.
Daddy, I want to go and play with my friends. Okay, I'll give you only 1 hour.
Yeah.
It's okay. I'll come. So he will look at the time, and he himself will tell me what time he is supposed to be at home.
Yeah.
But most of the time, he will come back later on.
Yeah.
So when he comes, then I tell him that because you have overstayed, you are not going out the next day or the next morning.
Yeah.
So you get it. So now I gave him room to operate, but he was not able to operate within the boundaries. He went overboard. Yeah. Therefore, he has to be restricted.
So doesn't that make you a strict dad as well?
No, the mom will not say you are not going out. You are not going. You are not going anywhere.
All right.
You are not going anywhere.
The strict one will be like, okay, yeah, I'm with you now. Yeah, I get it. So the strict one will set boundaries, and you can't cross those lines.
No.
Whereas the disciplined one will, I don't want to talk too much, but yeah, I get it. I'm with you. Pastor Freddie.
Yeah. I think Apostle and Brother Reggie, they put it really good.
Yeah.
You know, I have my first daughter, she's 28 now. I'm a granddad now.
Yeah.
Is different. When they've been growing up, it was like I was like my daughter's best friend.
Okay.
Because some of the time when she reached like 17, and we've been out with my daughter, and that time I had just a baby face, and her friends been saying to her, "Oh, we saw you with your boyfriend," and from that day, and she didn't want to go out with me anymore because she was thinking, "Oh, my friend saying you are my boyfriend." I said, "But you are just my friend," and we allowed her sometime going. Myself, not my wife. Like Apostle said, I will allow her to go like to her friend. We never allow her to go to sleep over, but we allow her just to go to her friend, come back. But to our second born, the boy, it was like no, party no, going no. And one day he just sit down with her and say, "Why Jessica always go to her friend, not me?"
Yeah.
And it was a question that we've been talking about, me and my wife. Say, because my wife, she's like, no.
Yeah.
Even now, with our son, it's just like, Dad, if he wants something, he will come to me, not to her mom.
Yeah.
Because he knows when he go to mom, according to like going outside, playing with his friend or party things, he's coming to me. Because he knows if he come to me, I will say, okay, we'll arrange it. I will drop you. You can go outside, play 1 hour. But if it goes to mom, mom will say, I don't want you to play outside with the people outside there. You stay inside, play in the garden.
Right.
And makes my wife looks like the strict one, and me like the easy go. Because for me, it's going to be like, yes, you can go outside, but sometimes I negotiate with my wife. I say, okay, we let him outside. I'm going to stand outside with him.
Okay.
See, just you see, just to balance for our son, not to see just mom to say no.
Yeah.
In the way I'm protecting my wife toward my children. And the same thing, we're playing the same thing because the grow up one, they seeing me like a strict one, and my wife, she's the negotiator because with them, they can talk about anything. When I say anything, but they can't talk to me.
Yeah.
They can't come to me. But the 11 years old, he come to me to talk to me about anything. Yeah. And that's the balance I'm putting between the what Brother Reggie say and the Apostle say. To show that the kids, they know the balance. They know who to approach and what to do with who. And they know themselves the definition of who is strict and who is soft or easy to come to.
Do you think some parents will intentionally be strict, like not with bad intentions? Do you think there is room for that?
Yeah,
a bit of strictness?
I can say yes, because as we say, three of us, we say it depends of the background where you come from.
Right.
There are some people, they're coming from a family, and I think maybe because you are the head of organizing the meeting, maybe one day we can talk about the background of parents for regarding the children, because
how it affects them.
Yeah, how it affects the broken family, how it affects them.
No, I'm coming to that. We're talking about that tonight because that is part of parents.
Is sometimes I can say it depends. You can say someone is strict, but it's because the way maybe he grew up in the broken family, for him to protect his children, is trying to be protective, saying no, 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 and they become like a wrong thing. Because for him, it's like, I'm protecting. They are mine. I don't want them to go through what I've been through. And,
that's a bit like religion versus a relationship, then, isn't it?
Yes.
You're trying to bring regimen into it rather than having that communication with your child and having that relationship with your child.
So what we're taking from this, if you're on Facebook watching us, is that rather than being strict, try and be more disciplined. I mean, would you agree that rather than just being strict for the sake of being strict, use discipline instead?
I think they kind of go both hand in hand, to be fair.
Thank you.
But I just got to mention a couple of comments from here. Some of the guys are just mentioning some comments from the ladies, and I'll be really interested. Adjua says, can't pronounce the surname, excuse me. How about eye contact or silence speaks louder than words? So pure eye contact. And then my wife has got a comment here, says, Daddy says, don't do that or you won't have sweets. They do it and still get the sweets. Mummy says, no sweets, no sweets.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. So I want to go to how about eye contact and silence speaks louder? Yeah. I want to go to that. I might as well touch on that. Do you think that necessarily works? That kind of approach?
It doesn't. Let me jump first, please. I know Apostle is going to speak more in this one.
Yeah.
We're going to give you more minutes, Apostle.
Flow, man of God. Flow.
Please let me speak, because I am the one who's quiet. When the situation rises, I don't speak.
Right.
And people can say, "Oh, silence speak louder than action." Is wrong.
Yeah. Right.
It is wrong, because
is it because it didn't work for you? Oh.
No, I experienced it with my second son.
Right.
He did something wrong. Instead of me sit down, talk to him like my wife always do, I say, I'm not going to speak to him.
Okay.
I want him to come back to me to speak to me. I say, I'm not going to speak to him. You know what's happened? The boy took a decision. And I regret until today.
This is different.
Yeah, I think it's different, because that is like not speaking to him at all. We're talking about like well, in your case, they're older kids, but when they're younger, you want to apply like the silence, even older, because you can apply this to at any age, to anybody. Like, I'm just going to watch you. You should get the message.
Yeah. Sorry to interject there. But you're absolutely right. When you say your version and definition of silent, like being a bit proud, you're absolutely right there. But I think what she was talking about was, the eye contact. You're not going to touch the sleep. That's by being the silent, and you don't have to shout. We just that was the difference.
Oh, the eye contact. Yeah, I now understand. And I am in both sides.
Right.
My eyes speaks louder than my action, because they are scared of my look. But instead of me stopping there, I always keep quiet. If I don't want to speak, I can stay quiet and not. I'll give you just a quick example. When we married with I married my wife, we've been together because I'm the only son in my family. I'm born in the family of 2 kids. And me and my sister, we have more than 10 years of difference. And she wasn't my friend because I was already grown up, and I could not play with her because she was a baby. And I grew up like the only son in the house. And for me, silence was the best thing ever. And when we married, and I wake up in the morning, I say hi to my wife, I go to work, come back, that's it, it's finished. You sit, do your things, I sit and do my things. I'm not going to speak to you, you don't speak to me. This is my thing, this is your things. This is your water, my water. This is your juice, this is my juice. It was like your stuff is your stuff, my stuff is my stuff.
Yeah.
Because I was like the only one, and I knew this is belongs to me, and I can't share it to anyone.
Yeah.
And when we were, and my wife is born in the family of 11 children.
Right.
Imagine now, there was no connection. She was crying, why this man don't talk to me?
Yeah.
And now these things happen to my children. That's why I say silence is not good.
Yeah.
100%.
It's not good, not at all. And that's what I'm going to give to any parent from my experience. Don't stay quiet when there is something in your family. Speak up. Talk to your children.
Yeah.
Put the matter on the table. Share. Speak to them, because it costs me.
Yeah.
I think that's. I'm not going to speak to you. I'm going to stay quiet, as I know how to do it. And the things I didn't know, the same character my son has it too. That means two quiet people and pride of themselves and hit each other. I'm not going to speak to Dad. Dad say, I'm not going to speak to you. And all of us have been quiet.
Right.
And we
100%.
Yeah. But what about that? That's really good. So I'm sure, I hope somebody's taking, I hope somebody's taking so much from that. But what about a case where the silence isn't because of, in this case, it is just to say, what will happen. If you don't change, you should know, or you better not touch that thing. Like, basically give somebody silent treatment to see what, basically you should be scared of me, or you're not allowed to do that sort of stuff. Am I making sense? Silence in the sense of just being quiet to see how the person will react, or the person should know they shouldn't have done it. The second one.
I think that's. Oh, sorry. Do you want to go?
Yeah, go for it. Like, you're being quiet because they should know better.
I think it's a positive thing when you're giving reverence and respect to someone, but when it's entirely based on fear, I don't think that's healthy.
No, that's not healthy.
So
I intentionally asked that because I wanted that to come out. Okay.
So when it's about, I use the word reverence because there's certain people, for instance, I've worked for as a manager who I have an utmost respect for. If they rebuke and they tell me off, I take that on board and I work and trying to be a better person. But if you use that same tone with arrogance and you bring fear into it, I'm disconnected. So it's really, really important. What that silent looks like.
Okay, so what about you're silent and then the person doesn't do anything about it? So every time you're silent, you thinking they should get the message and they're not doing anything. I'm saying this intentionally. You don't say anything. You expect them to get the message. They're not doing anything about it. What do you do there?
That is communication. Communication. The essence of communication is to be understood. So if you are trying to pass a message out and the person is not getting it, you have to let the person know that this is the reason why you're being silent. Bring the message across. The person will get it, and in case it does not respond to it, then you know what to do. But if the person is silent and he's not responding, you are still silent, I don't think it's doing any good thing, and it will just worsen things. So you better come out with something and then talk to the person rather than being silent whilst the person is not getting your message.
Okay. Just so we don't stay too long around here, because time, I want us to talk about daddy says don't do that, or you, excuse me, daddy says don't do that, or you won't have sweets, but then they do it and still have sweets. Yeah, no, it's a good one. And then mommy says no sweets. When mommy says no sweets,
it means no sweets.
Yeah. Daddy then becomes a favorite of the masses. Yeah. And then that leaves mommy as looking. Is that possible? That leaves mommy looking like she's mean. Is that possible? Does that, yeah. You know, how does that affect bringing up a child? What does that say to our children? Because this is a classic home situation. Daddy allows this thing, or mommy allows it, but dad, the other one doesn't, right? And it paints a different picture before the children. How do we handle this sort of situation?
Can I come in?
Yeah,
because it's one of the questions I've got here. So it's good that that's come out.
Okay. It's like once they are children, right? So they will, if you tell them not to do something, they do it, and you don't punish them, in quotes. No, you don't correct them. Yeah. You seems to be their favorite, but with time, they will know that you are not training them well.
Right.
We've been children before, and we know that the people that we thought they were strict, they were rather the people who were training us to become to become matured adults.
Yeah.
Some of the people that were given a lot of room to operate, now we see them as spoiled children or spoiled kids. So even though they are children, they won't understand the situation at the moment. But when they grow up, they will understand it. So I will definitely go on with the one who is playing the right role. Like if it say don't take it, don't take it. No matter what they say, yeah, they will label you that you are mean, or mom, you are mean. But that is not true meaning of meanness. So with time, I think they will know the truth.
Rainer, did you want to say something before I move on to?
No, I think you've hit it on the nail. But I also equally think that there's got to be consistency, because otherwise there'll be mixed messages in the household and that would create confusion. So I do believe that as parents, that you have to obviously meet aside and say, look, I've said this, we're going to do this when you've gone against, as small as it may seem.
That's right.
Let's address it so there's consistency in the household. In terms of favoritism, I probably wouldn't call it favoritism. I'll probably call it, they probably wise up how to get their own way.
Yeah.
More so than favoritism. So that's the other bit of 10 pence I wanted to just throw that in there.
That's good. Pastor Freddie.
Yeah.
Let me put it differently for you, Pastor Freddie.
Yes.
Just to give us, because of time, I want to use this to. So let's say we've got co-parenting happening here, right? We've got a child who gets to spend some time with dad on one side, who's probably in a different relationship, and then spends time with mother, at different times. Dad does stuff differently, and then mom does it differently. From where we're sitting, we're looking at a scenario where maybe dad allows them to get away with like stuff that they shouldn't, and then mom, are you getting the picture? But mom is the strict one. How do you think parents should handle this sort of situation so that we can bring up the children properly?
Okay.
Can we?
I'm going.
It's similar, isn't it?
But I'm going to speak in both of the etiquettes I have.
Yes, please.
On the first side is as a youth work and study youth and children and youth perspective, and I learned a lot about children. And I was so shocked in my first year at uni. They said to us, children never lies. I was so shocked because it was like, for me, I have children. I know they always, sometimes they lie to you. They lie to you for simple things. But when we've been learning about children, in most of cases, they say children, they never lie. And then it was a debate. Why the psychologist or the theory is there that children never lie. And they make us understand that most of the time when the case is so serious or the things is serious, the children, they never say lies. They always say the truth. And in this case, it's going to be between the two parents to understand that they have to challenge the child first, because the child can use both parents. Sometimes we think children are not clever. They are clever than what we think. They are very intelligent than what we're thinking as parents.
Do you think they can manipulate parents sometimes?
That is the word I wanted to use. They know how to manipulate situation in the way you cannot believe.
Right.
They can manipulate both of you so easily because the children, they are like sponge. They can observe what they learn from the dad side. They know the weakness of dad. They know what I can get from dad and what I cannot get for dad. And on the other side, they know also what I can get from mom and what I cannot get from mom. And they observe your attitude, both of you, how your relationship is. And they know if I say this to mom, dad will never know. Because of their relationship. Mom will never say that to dad. And the same thing vice versa. And that's why, for the sake of people are watching us, I can say, parents, you have to be careful. If you are in the relationship that you have to share your son or daughter, weekend on, weekend off, and all this stuff, you have to be careful. Even though you are not together again, you are not together anymore, but make sure you show that you're getting, you have a good relationship in the way of bringing up your son or daughter. The child must understand that dad and mom, they speak everything concerning me.
That's good.
If they know that, if your son or daughter knows that dad and mom speaks everything regarding me, there will be, like Apostle say, they will know the boundaries. They will know this one with dad I cannot cross, with mom I cannot cross. If I say this to mom, dad will know. If I say this to dad, mom will know. And from there, you save your son or your daughter.
But can we apply this in the home as well, so you spoke, you've advised in terms of like if parents were not living together, what about parents living together? Do you think children can manipulate, both parents as well? And how dangerous can that be?
That's what I said to you. I said the children, they are intelligent than what we are thinking. I give one example. How come a child who's been molested, or a son or a daughter or a child, and let's put just a child who's been raped, can memorize every step, everything happened when they do the interrogation?
Right.
Because they are intelligent. They know every detail, and they are like sponges. They can suck every details. Anything they see, they can. You can ask them even the color of the flower was in the room. They can tell you that.
Yeah.
And the same thing apply in our home. We need to know our children that they can manipulate dad and mom.
Yeah.
Like Sister Gail say, I know Brother Reggie says, he said that so well, but the question Sister Gail said about the sweet, mom say no, it means no. Dad say no, it means yes. But after that, you have
Sorry.
You know what? We're all laughing because we know it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to talk. You have to know. You have to talk because it happened to me too. That's why I say sometimes my son asks, Dad, can I go out? He's not going to ask mom. Because if he asks mom, mom will say no.
No.
And if he asks dad, dad will say yes. But you know what? Just 2 days ago, my wife rebuked me. Say, why are you breaking everything I'm building?
That's what it feels like sometimes, though. When you're the one.
That is what she said to me. Why are you breaking everything I'm building? Say, if I say to him no, that means no. Don't come and change it.
Yeah.
You know what I did? I call my son, I sit down with him. I say, look, when mom say no, is no.
That's it.
Because every time you coming to me, it's not working because mom is not going to be happy. You see, we need to make a compromise here. If you want to go out, we need mom's approval.
That's
we
right.
need mom to say if you have to go outside. And my son understood. And when something happened, and then he came back home, mom said, you see why I didn't want you to go outside? Because of this. Yeah. Now, mom now knows, and the boy knows now, oh, mom was saying to me not to go outside because she was protecting me.
Yeah, yeah. How men of God, how can we make this work better in our homes? Because the kids are always going to take advantage of this. Just
talk to your wife.
Somebody's watching and has this sort of problem in their home, right? Parents may be watching. We need to fix this, right? Because it's a problem in a lot of places. It's broken families. It's caused so many problems, and in the long run, it doesn't help the children. So
please, sorry, Brother Reggie, sorry, Apostle, I'm taking a little bit, a lot of minutes, please. This, I don't know why God wants me to say this, but maybe it's for someone. These things happening a lot in Christian home.
Yeah, yeah.
A lot. Why? Because Dad wants us to go to church every Sunday. Mom says sometimes, oh no, today they have homework, let them sit down home, they have to do their homework, and it become a big argument at home. And most of Christian family is like, what word I can put for me not to be malinterpreted, is like an army or
military.
It's like we
dictatorship
to do our will instead of bringing them the way we're supposed to bring them. We want them to do our will. We say church, Bible study, prayer.
Yeah.
No, it's just like in the army. But
no democracy.
No, we don't talk to our wives. We don't collaborate, but we dictate everything. We dictate everything as men in the house. No, I want my house to be like Joshua's house. Me and my house will serve the Lord.
Serve the Lord. And Abraham will command his children after me. Yeah.
You bring all the verses there. without talking to your wife and see how you can do that. Because moms with their children, they want better. They know they have to do their homework. Mom, they are so in the homework and all these things. They organize everything at home. Collaborate, talk to your wife. Yes, you are the head of the house. Yes, you need your house to be like Abraham's house or Joshua's house. Collaborate with your wife. Make it easier for everyone in the house. Because you're going to bring up hypocrites in the house.
Yeah.
You bring hypocrites in the house.
Yeah. Because they can't speak, they can't share. Yeah.
You bring hypocrites. You got boys, but the day they're going to tell you what your boys doing outside, you'll be like, really? Apostle, up to you. Tell us.
My goodness.
Pastor, what you said earlier, I think for me, when I was listening, around children don't lie, is a bit like Matthew 18, verse 3, when it says, truly I tell you, unless you change and become like the children, you'll never enter the kingdom of heaven. They're like a blank canvas. They're completely innocent. And I think it's not that they're manipulative. I think it's more around the parents and how they are, that the children become that way. So right. I say this to say, it's about parents communicating and being in sync with each other and taking away the pride, taking away the egos, and not arguing in front of the children, but just stepping outside, having that one-to-one communication and saying, you know what, I hear what you said about this, and we disagreed there, but let's meet in the middle and have that consistency. That in that way, there's going to be more trust, and there'll be less manipulation, less lies, less. So for me, children are, and I get where Jesus was coming from, are completely innocent. They're like a blank canvas.
Well, as the host, I want to ask this question: is it true though that they are that? Because Jesus may have said it when what Jesus said there, he was trying to say that we need to be like children, as in being innocent. But are children today that innocent? Are they that innocent?
Yes, they are.
Are they?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they start innocent.
Yeah.
They're sponges. They are.
Because I heard,
sorry to disturb. Like Pastor Freddy said, he said they are like sponge. They soak on what we do.
Yeah.
They observe mostly more than what we tell them to do. So if you are doing something else, and you are doing something and you tell them something else, they won't obey what you told them. They rather obey what they saw you doing.
Well, the reason I say this is there are influences.
Sure.
Yeah.
There are there are stuff that influence our children, especially as they're growing from that little child that I had in the house to, I've heard stories, and I've seen stuff. I've seen my 11-year-old change, gradually, as from the innocent child that I knew to stuff that sometimes I hear that surprise me. Okay, and it's not the only. I mean, I'm speaking for a lot of parents. As they grow, as they go out, they start hearing stuff. Sometimes I hear stuff that surprise me. I'm just being blunt here because I'm not the only parent here, and it is reality. So when you say they're innocent, I'm looking from that perspective and saying, do they stay innocent forever? Because there's stuff that influence them.
No, we are not saying they.
I didn't ask whether they stay innocent forever. What I'm trying to say is that they are influences. So if you can't just leave them, we need to. Do we need to? Let me turn into a question. Do we necessarily need to get on top of things, or should we just work with them, walk along and watch, and then how do we help them? That goes to my next question. How do we help them from that innocent stage to the adolescent stage when stuff starts changing? How do you handle that stage?
Can I come in on this one?
That's my next question. So yeah, go on.
Okay, so as a manager, as a leader, To manage people, you manage them directive, you delegate, you can support, or you can coach. When the children are young, you got to be very directive. You got to give them instructions. As they grow older, you have to be able to coach and facilitate and let them find their own feet. But you can't teach them the way you started to teach them by being so directed all the time. You've got to be able to let them go. But equally, the mistake we make is that we want to manage one way all the time as fathers when they're 11 and 12. So the fact that they're going to the world, they're being exposed, they're hearing swear words or whatever, it's okay, but it's how you approach it. What you don't want to do is them to hide things from you. So you have to be able to sow that seed of trust, sow that seed of approachability, sow that seed of comfort so they can come to you. Just like the prodigal son, where he came to the father because the father took him on. That as fathers, we need to be there, not to be helicopter parents, but nurture them and to guide them and to support them and to teach them. It's like, son, here's the football, go and get it. Don't try and get the football for him, but just chaperone. And it's all about coaching.
I'm going to intentionally ask a question. Does that always work?
Yes.
Okay, because I was talking to somebody the other day, and the person won't mind me saying this, and because this is typical of what happens sometimes. Their child has changed, and they're like, we always talk. So what happened? I'm surprised that all of a sudden this child has changed in this way. What happens? Why does it go wrong sometimes?
You made mention of influences around them.
Yeah.
Sometimes they have strong influence from their friends, their schoolmates, even their teachers. Anytime you hear your kid saying, "My friend said this," my teacher said this, you then get it straight away that influence is becoming stronger. Sometimes than what you say tell them. So if you don't find a way to balance that influence, there will be a time that you know exactly the right thing to tell them or coach them well, but they won't take it from you. They will rather take it from those who have been able to influence them greatly in a way.
So for whoever's going to answer the next question, how do you carefully do it without being too intrusive in their lives? So, because there are certain stages where they don't, is it true that they don't always share everything?
Yeah. Sometimes they want to experience some things by themselves.
Right.
So even though, I'll talk to you, though. So it means that he doesn't want to talk to you or she doesn't want to talk to you at that moment. But when they go out and they experience what they want to experience and they come back, then they will talk.
So do you leave them to just get on with it and just step back? You want to be careful, Pastor Freddie. To what extent do you leave them to? Because sometimes you don't want to be intrusive. You don't want to. Can I use that? Can I put it in that way? Sometimes you don't want to be intrusive. You want to be careful. How careful can you be? And to the extent of not being too intrusive, because some parents have been very careful and only found out it's too late.
Yeah.
I'm giving you reality, right? I'm giving you real situations. And in some cases, it feels like it is too late. I could have done a better job then. So I'm just trying to put us in that place where, how do you balance it out? How much is too intrusive and how much is, I'm giving them space and all that sort of stuff?
I will answer this because
yes, sir. Someone said it will be too late. Another says absolutely. This is real talk.
Can say by experience and
Yes, sir.
having grown-up children, I can say there is no formula or there is no way of please, parents, you are watching us, don't compare your children to your friends' children or your neighbor's children. Don't compare your children to other people's children. And don't let yourself comparing the way you bringing your children to other people.
Other people, yeah, that's good.
I'm telling you that by experience, and because now the church people we're always thinking like, I want my children to play guitar like Pastor Eric's children.
All of them.
I want them
and
to
be ushers and everything.
to be like Pastor Eric's children, but you don't know what grace God gives to them and why God allowed that to happen in this family. You can try the same thing. You can put even money for your children to start playing like that, but nothing happened. You see?
Yeah.
And for that reason, I come now in the question you asked. There is no formula how we can bring up our children. But there is a way, like Bishop said, there is a way we can allow our children to trust us. Me and my wife, we've been laughing when our daughter had our grandson, because we had experience. Every time we say to her, can you do this and this and this for your son and this. And the answer say, oh, I check in Google, they say this and this and this and this. Oh, okay, so right. I said to my wife, don't add, let her do it. And when she's going to be stuck and she's going to come back again, say, oh, mom. And if it's mom who said that and she answered that to mom, she will come to me. Daddy, what do you think about this? And vice versa. And me and my wife, we start calling. We say, every time she comes to us, say, oh, what Dr. Google say? Because comparing our advice to Google's advice. And the same thing as Bishop said, every time you see your son coming to you with a question, that means that question being already spoken about in a long period of time where he is going with his friends. And he wanted just to know your opinion about what he is struggling with. But he doesn't want you to tell him what to do or to tell her what to do. He wants just to hear your opinion.
Yes, sir.
I don't know if I make myself clear.
Yeah.
He doesn't want you to tell them, oh no, you have to do it. No, they don't want that. They want just to hear your opinion, to compare your opinion to their peers.
Yeah.
That's it, what they want to hear. And I always give this example to the young people. I say, I grew up with my mom, but my mom was saying to me, the day I find you with a girlfriend in the corner of the street, I'll beat you up. And she said to me, any friend you have, girl or boy, bring them home, sit down in the house, sit down in the compound, sit down with them. I don't want to see you in the streets. We grow up in Africa. We have long street and big compound and all this.
Yeah.
We grow up standing outside with your friend and everything. But my mom was saying to me, when I'm coming back from work, if I find you outside with a girl or friend outside, you are in trouble. Bring your friend inside the house. in the compound, talk to them, sit down with them. That I didn't understand that until I became a parent. My mom wanted one thing, to know all my friends. That was the aim.
That was track and trace system.
Yes. It was really the tracking system. She wanted to know all my friends. That's the way. And I apply it to my children. It works. It made me know all their friends. I said to them clearly, I said, if you have a friend, bring them home. Yeah. If the house is small, we're going to leave you. If you say you're going to receive your friend, we leave you in the living room. We go even in our bedroom, we sit down. You have your time, or we go to the kitchen, we go to the garden, you have your time. Yeah. But we want just you to be free. Don't hide anything from us. Just bring your friends home. Yeah. He allowed us, me and my wife, to know almost all our children's friends. Yeah. And all of them, almost they call us uncle and auntie. Because we know them. We allow our children to bring their friends home. And it just something I learned from my mom and understood it when I became an adult. Like Apostle said, tracking device was a good one. It was a good tracking device. And I use the same thing my mom used. It works. If you don't want your children to start going outside, finding advice outside, because every time they are home, when they have the discussion and everything, they will come back to one of you, mom or dad, say, oh, you know, my friend was saying this and this and this. What do you think about it? And then you take your time now to give your opinion, not to get involved in the decision, but to give your opinion. Like Bishop said, you guide them. And my brother said in a good way, you manage them. You show them how to kick the ball. You show them, listen, this is a good discussion. This is and this and this and this, how you can do it.
That's good.
My brother said.
Sorry. Yeah, that's good, Pastor Freddie. So I want to ask you, how do you, this is a real, how do you, if let's say you find your child in doing something that they're hiding from you that is dangerous even for them? This is like parental discussion. And you want to be careful not to look like you're intruding in their business, but you want at the same time get in and help them. So a good scenario is if you should bring this thing up, they'll know straight away that, well, you will have to go somewhere to know what they're doing, or somebody will have to give you that information to know they're up to that thing. You find them in a situation where you need to get them out, but then how will a parent get around it? I'm just being careful the way I put this question without. You find your child, let's say, for instance, with a gang, okay, or taking a class A drug or something like that. I'm going extreme. And you want to get them out of it, but then how will a parent go about doing that, getting their child out of that? You just find out all of a sudden that innocent child is doing this thing. Talking, will you do talking, or what will you do? I'm asking this question intentionally because this will help somebody. All of a sudden, that innocent child, you find out they've been taking class A drugs. How do you help them out?
Too much already today. Bishop is yours.
I'll start on this one.
Sorry, go on.
Go on, brother.
I think the first thing is, if something like that occurs, you've got to, one, stand up to it. So not in an aggressive way, but I would probably just take them out away from home, just a man-to-man chat, for instance. Sit them, have a coffee with them away from home, just completely. Ask them how they are. find out the bigger picture of what's going on in their lives. I'm not going to just hit them with a bombshell. Oh, I found some weed, or I found some cocaine, or I found this. I'm just going to have a proper chat with them, ask them, is anything troubling you? I'll give them the opportunity first to try and offload if there's any issues or any things that perhaps we've missed as parents. And then I'll address, look, I'm not going to be honest. I'm going to be honest with you. I found this. Do you want to explain what's going on? Without judging them, without having without being overstern, but I'll be clearly worried about it. But I would want to ask them open questions to really find out what the root cause of the problem is, rather than just go in there, boom, boom, because that's not going to work, in my opinion. And then if they open up,
somebody's saying that is the easy option because I've tried that. We're a happy family. We everything's usually good. Some kids can be so good, even a church leader or doing, do you know what I mean? Good in the sense that they're all around good. You just didn't know. And you found out, talk to them once, twice, only because stuff that you're addicted to, addictions are addictions. And sometimes some of these kids at certain ages can be so connected to people, friends, and all that sort of stuff, right? Which makes it difficult for you to easily get them out of the situation.
You'd have to address it, ask them what help they needed, be firm, but also just know that you've got their back and that it's not just a one-way thing for them to come out of it, that as a team, we're going to try and, go through a process to try and get you off these substances. If it's an addiction, you've got to help and support them.
All right. Apostle, thanks, bro.
Yes. Yeah, it's sometimes very difficult to find out what your innocent child can turn into to be. But having said that he's your child or she's your child, you can't throw him or her away. You have to support him or her through the process to come out. By like what my brother rightly said, take him out, try to find out how he got into it, and then you also share your view on it. Do not please start with condemnation, judgmental stuff, and all these. No, they won't help. They will stop talking to you about it. But be open by letting the person know that you have come out to help, to solve that situation.
Apostle, I'll give you guys an example. Like I was a child that was growing up in a home where my parents were Christians, so obviously you also become a Christian, right? And then I left home and then I went into the deepest, darkest part of life. Okay, yeah. I don't think my mom, until maybe she passes on, will ever find out some of the darkest parts that I was telling my older sister the other day. I think she'll probably pass out before her time if she finds out that this child that we brought up in a Christian home did some of these things. Okay, but I know what saved me, like my mom's prayers. I believe God's mercy.
We will get there. We were about to get there.
Yeah, exactly.
But prayer. If she didn't know what you were going through, and you didn't tell her, without her prayers.
No. What I'm saying is, she didn't know, and unless I tell her, she probably will find out when I meet her in heaven.
Yeah. What I'm saying is, if you didn't tell her, yes, that is it. You didn't tell her, and if she didn't even know, but if she was praying for you alone, that one would have helped you in a way.
I believe
so after having a chat with them and trying to not to condemn them, not to judge them, but be open with them, then when they are able to share with you, not all, but some because sometimes they are afraid to tell you the depth they have gone into. Then that is where you can also, doing the physical stuff, you also add more prayers to it. That was what
I'll definitely encourage a lot of praying. Of course, you're agreeing with me. I'm just adding to what you said, that definitely a lot of prayers, because in my case, for instance, I don't think either my dad or mom knew.
No, it was a prayer.
How far I went, exactly. And we don't know what happens when our children leave home. And that is why a lot of praying, but we can't leave it to prayer alone.
No.
Pastor Freddie, I'm
Can
supposed
I take
to
it in another direction?
Yeah.
Can I take it in another direction?
Please.
Let's start. When I say it was before, and most of Christian now, we're trying to copy
Abraham, Isaac, Joshua.
And quoting the verse for our children and all these things. We're missing something. As parents, we're missing something. And what we're missing is what Brother Eric, you put there, Pastor. We don't know a lot of things about our children doing outside. I give one example in the Bible, in the book of Samuel. Eli was a prophet. But the things his children have been doing in the temple, he was not aware. But when they told him what his children have been doing, the simple thing he did, he didn't rebuke them, but I hope and I think Eli was praying for them. But they didn't change. And God punished him for that. And we all know we are servants of God. We know the consequences of his action toward his children. And what I can say is, when I go back to the first question is, when you know what your children are doing, if you don't have an easy communication, like Apostle said before, if you don't have an easy communication with your children, between both of you, men and women, find who has the good communication skills with the kids, who can talk to that particular kid properly. And you find out that ground, and that if his mom is going to know how to talk to the child, or you talk to the father, or father is going to be able to talk to the son or daughter. And is in the way. I'm saying this one is so painful in the heart. It's so painful because every time you receive a family with this kind of trouble, and we are so prompt, we are so ready to put ourselves to help them, to find solution. Oh no, this counselor, this, you can do this, you can do this. But when it happened to our own children, we are unable to help them.
Right.
Why? Because Christian, most of the time, we become hypocrites regarding our children. We don't know. We don't want anyone to know what is happening in my family, what my children are doing, because I want to hide it.
Right.
And I'm going to be unable to help my own son. My excuse is going to be I'm going to go to the Lord. I'm going to pray for the Lord to help me. Why? Only because we are hypocrites. We don't want to bring the same help. We give the same help I give to my Pastor Eric's son. I don't want to give the same help to my son. Why? The only question is just how everyone will know. Oh, my son is, oh no, I don't want this one to happen to my son. But let me tell you, it's not just the class A addiction. Sex is one of the things also.
Yeah.
Because the Bible says if you lay with the prostitute, you become one flesh. How many times the children of men of God, the children of women of God, they they're sleeping around with the church members.
Even in church, right?
Even in church,
Yeah.
they're doing all these things. And parents, we hiding these things. We can't face our children to talk to them about it.
Yes, sir.
We don't want to give them advice. We don't want to talk to them like brother said. We don't want to take the time to sit down with them, talk to them properly, one-to-one talk. If you're having time with someone else's son or daughter to take time to counsel that person, to give that person advice, to pray with that person, why can't you do it with your own son or your daughter? But we don't do it. Say the Lord will do it. The Lord will make it for us. The Lord will intervene. Or the grace of the Lord is upon us. I have the grace of the Lord. I have the promises of the Lord.
Yeah.
My children, they are chosen one. They are chosen one, but you don't do anything. Wake up.
Yes, sir.
Wake up. It's time to wake up, children of God. It's time to wake up, men of God.
Yes, sir.
The same thing you're doing for your brothers or sisters, daughter or son, do it for your own children. They are on your own blood. Do it for them. Eli made the same mistake. He was doing good with Samuel, but he was not doing good for all his own children.
Yes, sir.
His own children, they didn't become prophet, but Samuel became the great prophet in the Bible. Because he didn't pay attention to his children, he was focusing to Samuel.
That's good.
And
that's why they say that the ministry.
The Lord wanted me to speak this way, but let me just bring it. Because God, we become so hypocrite.
Yeah.
We expose our children. We want them to preach like us. We want them to pray in the group. We want them to do things in the church. But we're hiding everything else they're doing.
The issues.
Yes. We're hiding it. We don't want to talk to them. The Lord will do it. The grace of the Lord is there. They are chosen. Why?
It's true, though. Everything you said, I'm completely just on board, because it starts from home. Ministry starts from home. Everything you've said is so real. There's no trust, there's no empathy, and you can't have an authentic relationship. If there's no trust, there's no empathy. It's not the drugs, it's you.
It's you.
Yeah, that's
true. So you know what, Pastor Freddie, what you're saying is so key, that it's like we are good at preaching outside, but then our homes, there are so many issues. And everyone, this is a Christian parenthood, parenting conversation, and every parent needs to be the priest in their home. You don't need a pastor to come to your home. And this shouldn't only apply to pastors, because somebody may be watching, you may be a deacon, or you are a Christian. Forget all that. Forget all the titles. You're a Christian. We're all Christians. So the pastor doesn't have to be better than. This applies to all of us. And I think this is good, because everyone should be taking this home. That we should be raising our children. We call ourselves Christians, right? We should be raising our children in a godly way. It's as simple as that. And you know what? It's not about what people see on the outside. No, these children are going to grow. How long are you going to hide stuff? Or how long are we going to hide these characters and what is going wrong? Get help. Let's get help. Let's get help. Let's get help. I want the next question before the last one. How is parenting easy for you? Would you say,
Apostle?
It may sound like it is a genuine question to me.
Parenting is not easy. It's a complex thing.
Please share. Elaborate on that. Because to somebody it's so easy.
Like all of us have been saying, if you have one, or if you have more than one kid, it means you are dealing with different people. Right. It's not that they are all your kids, or they are the same people. They have different characters, different attitudes, and different behavior setting. So how you treat this person, you will not treat this other person the same. So it becomes a complex situation for you.
Yeah.
Because somebody might want in a way where what you do for this one and do the same for the other one. Even twins, you can't treat them the same because they are different people. So what makes it a little bit complex is that you have to find out how to deal with this person and how to deal with that person. If not, if you try to deal with them the same, you'll get it all wrong. So it's a matter of finding how to deal with them as individuals, not as your children. If you are able to do that, then you will find it a bit easy, but it's not an easy thing.
Man of God, do you think some fathers abandon ship because of how difficult it is?
Yes, some do, because of the responsibilities are too high, too much for them. They can't handle them anymore.
Right. How can we help such people? If maybe one of them is watching now, and can you convince them that, listen, it's not that easy for yourself?
I remember back in Amsterdam, there was this elder who had, I think, 4 kids. The first 3 were boys. So instead of trying to understand them and not be like a kid, but have a way of communicating with them, he was being bossy all the time. So it got to a time that one day he go home, they were watching television, and he said, "Put it off and go and sleep." And one of them said, "No, we are not putting it off." And he said, "Why not put it off?" I said, "You didn't buy it. It's my mom who bought it." It's funny, but the mom went up beyond control.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant.
Then they began to fight. they began to fight. Yeah, no, I'm not going to sleep. I'm not putting it off. And he asked me, "Why? It's late." He said, "Yeah, because you didn't buy it." My mom bought a TV, so you don't have a right over the TV. My mom rather has a right over the TV. Imagine, because there was no relationship. He was just giving commandments. That shall not do this. That shall not do that. And so it will get, if you treat them that way, it will get to a point in time they will rebel.
Yeah,
they will rebel. They will rebel just like that. They will tell you that they are fed up with your style of leadership. Do your worst, and you can't do anything to them. So it's a matter of finding a way of dealing with them. Oh, you go to school tomorrow. You are having exams, or you are find a nice way of communicating to these children, and they will understand you. And okay, Daddy, okay, give me 5 minutes. This series, give me about 10 minutes. Okay, 10 minutes, you go. Okay, thank you. But if you become like a dictator to them all the time, like my brother Renard said, when they are kids, you are directive. But when they grow, it's coaching. It's no more direct. It's no more commanding them. It's finding a better way of communicating with them. If not, they'll rebel to you on your face, not behind you, right on your face. They will tell you, "No, I'm not doing it. I'm not going. I'm not leaving." And you can't drag them. You can't beat them too. Like back home, yeah, you can do whatever. You can't do it. They know their rights. Not that they don't want to use them against us.
I know
They
they're right.
know their rights.
Absolutely.
Somebody just want me to call 911 on you. They can just ask, do you want me to call now? Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
This thing happened and it went on till the police came in. So they had to give the man about some yards away to be around the house. So one day I was told he you know, the man and the wife, they loved it themselves. So one day he sneaked in, and then one of them go home and the man was there. Dad, are you here? I'm calling the police. The dad didn't use the elevator. He used the stairs, running for his dear life. So now his own children has become terror to his life, which is not supposed to be so. But the way and manner he handled them from the beginning caused this thing. Even if the enemy wanted to use them against you, you as the man, you open up and you gave the enemy the way. So that's how it happens.
Awesome. Well, I want to end with this question. What is the most important things that a man has to? What would you say? No. What would you say are the least important things that a father has to give to their children? A father should give to their children. Pastor Freddie. Yeah.
In which way, Pastor Eric?
What are the most important things? Sorry. As a father, do you think every father needs to? Sorry. What are the most important things a father needs to give to their children? Just give us a few. Sorry. Yeah.
I'm
looking at too many questions and thinking which one should I pick? So, yeah.
Yeah, I know they're bombarding you over there.
No. I've got loads of more questions, but then we need to round it off. So I'm kind of forcing myself to.
The most important thing is, like Apostle say, is respect.
Two important things, that every father needs to give to their children
is respect. Because your children, you show them how to respect you, and you show how you can respect them. They will grow up knowing that life is about respect. I'll go back to the example Brother Reggie gave to us. Say he's a manager, and every time he gives people, sometimes he gives them delegation and give them order and asking them to do things. But if every time as a manager, you don't respect your people and telling them just, you go do this. And the same way Apostle say, the kids, they've been used to dad saying to them, not this, do this, do this. And one day what they did, they say, oh, no, you didn't buy this. Because I go back again to what Apostle said before. The children, they don't do what you say to them. They do what you do. You know, I went deep in what the story Apostle said. To know this family, knowing that father was doing nothing to the family. The woman was doing everything in the family, feeding the kids, buying the stuff in the house, and he was like a mother dad. And the children, they noticed that. The children, they knew everything we have in this house, mom brought it. Mom brought everything. And the day dad tried to open his mouth, and the meeting was already settled. The children, they settled the meeting. They said, today is today. This man needs to go out of this house. You see, because they observe everything. Sometimes they come to mom and say, Mom, did you buy this TV? Yes, I bought this TV. did you buy the fridge? You know my wages. I bought this fridge. And they're asking question, and mom answering the question without knowing the background of the question. When the children stood, and the mother was already also tired of the husband.
You are doomed.
And that's it, it's finished. And that's why I say, for me, the good inheritance or the good things to give to your children is respect. Is
That's
respect. Good. Look at our Lord Jesus Christ, how he was respecting the disciples. And the same thing the disciples did to him. They've been respecting him. And the respect brings honor. The respect brings honor. Because they respect you, they will honor you. They will honor their dad. They will honor you as their dad. It will not be like in the American culture. All celebrities, they talk only about mom. Oh, my mom, I give thanks to my mom. I give thanks to my mom. I give thanks to my mom. My mom did this for me. My mom. You never hear them saying my dad. That's why I say the good things to give to our children is respect. If these children, they never talk about their dad because their dad, they never give them respect, and they never respect their mom, they never respect them, and for that reason, they don't respect them in how to put it. They don't give them back that respect that will honor them.
Yeah.
Honor the person was respect them, the mom was respect them, and they give the mom the respect and the honor due to him, to her.
That's good. Awesome. Respect. I keep hearing that. Reynard?
I'm gonna go with approachability and trust. I think it's important for fathers to be approachable. And I know we've talked about strictness, and I don't want to get strictness confused with fear, but I think as fathers, if we can't be approachable, they can't tell us what's going on. So we need to have that, right traits of approachability, and that means they've got to be able to trust us as well. I think I've just noticed a comment from my wife, which I've got to mention. She's put respect, affirmation, and direction. So, but for me, approachability is a key thing.
Awesome. Apostle, same question to you. So, what is the most important thing you would say that every father needs to give to their children?
Good. Like Pastor Freddie just said, whenever you hear the celebrities talking about how they've gone to the top, you hear them talking about their moms, what their mom did for them and stuff like that. I would like to give I would love our kids to understand that they should honor their parents. Honor your parents, so that is a commandment with a promise, so that your days will be long on this earth. When you honor elderly people, not only your parents, but when you honor people, they will also honor you. And apart from that, you will also live long, and it shall be well with you. So we should, these days, the disrespect is too much. The case or this generation, about 80% or 85% don't give the elderly people any kind of respect. They don't give them any honor. They call you by your name. They think they are just like you. So
is it
sometimes they even say they know some things more than what you know. So they don't even respect you. I'll ask them to honor elderly people, because it is a commandment with a commandment with a promise. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Awesome.
Sorry,
Yes, sir.
sorry to jump. And it's amazing the way these three things match together.
Mm-hmm.
Respect, approachability, and honor.
Yeah.
That's right.
And the three things that will make our children to see the greatness of the Lord in their life. Respect, approachability, and honor. It's three things. It's amazing how God can put things together like this.
It's a tripod.
I'm out of time. Sorry. We still. I'm out of time. But then, how can we get our children to come to this place of respecting parents? Apostle, especially in this Western world, how can we do that? Those on Facebook, forgive me, I've gone out of time, but I just want to add this one.
I always want us to be want us to become or behave in this way. We always hear leaders saying leadership by example. If you respect your kids, if you respect people, and if you respect not only elderly people but also kids as well, your children around you, they will cultivate that kind of behavior.
Yeah.
You will not only tell them to respect people whilst you disrespect them. You lead by example. And like Pastor Freddie said, they are like sponge. It will soak into them and they will cultivate that lifestyle.
That's really good. On that note, ladies and gentlemen.
Sorry, let me add one.
I'll let Pastor Freddie say his last word.
Yeah.
And
one word. Apostle says something very important, but I'm giving this last advice for the respect, as you say. Parents, don't talk about other people in presence of your children. Don't talk about other people in presence of your children, because they're going to notice you don't respect these people. They're going to do the same thing you're doing to other people.
That's right.
They will not cultivate the respect, and it's going to be the same. The same thing you're doing at home, talking about other people behind their back in their presence, they're going to start doing the same thing, and they're not going to have respect to anyone. Because when you're talking about other people behind their back in the presence of your children, you're showing no respect to them. That means your children, they're going to do the same thing. They will not respect anyone.
And that's really good and really true, because a lot of places where where you see children behaving in certain ways, where it comes from, right? Yes. I mean, and if we as Christians will do the right thing and teach our children the right things, the right behaviors, and do the right things at home, there's a good chance they'll go out there and do what they're taught at home as well. So if we are mindful of the things we say, the conversations we have around our children and all this sort of things, then we can be sure that our children are going up. If you see a respectful person, you see that their children also behave in that respectful way, respectable way, and it just, it's a no-brainer. It's not something that I even need to spend time talking about. But that's well said, Pastor Freddie. I just want to read this. What our sister Gil Joseph Spudder, she said, consistency. Be consistent in love, affirmation, discipline, instruction. I have to pick the last one. Prayer goes a long way. So be consistent in all the things that she said. But you know what? I want to add my last one to it. Prayer is such a powerful thing. It works. If my parents did not see where I was and what I was up to, and their prayer could save me, our prayers could save our children a lot and do a lot of good for them. Bible says that except the Lord watches over a city, except the Lord builds a city, they labor in vain that build it. They labor in vain that watch over it. We can't see our children all the time. We don't know what they get up to, where they go, but your prayers will help them a lot. What we can't do right, with prayers, even we ourselves, we can do our jobs better. So on that note, I want to say a big thank you to my panelists, Mr. Reynard Joseph, Apostle Eric Boydie, and Rev Freddie Jewell. I'm your host, Reverend Eric Amma Godwin. Everyone on Facebook, we really appreciate you. It's been so interactive today. We've worked together. There's so many more questions, and we're tempted to, but we can never exhaust any thing that we discuss. So thank you so much for joining us. Stay tuned. 3rd week of every month. Let's talk about it. Stay blessed and keep loving Jesus. Good night. Bye-bye.
Good night.